baby born.
8:21 p.m. on Sunday, September 29th. How are we feeling?
Excited.
We just had a burger with fries.
Super fine.
I'm still kind of hungry though.
Alright.
Here's our boy. 40 weeks.
Being stubborn as
40 weeks, 2 days. And he's not coming out. You're not coming out.
He's too comfy.
So I'm gonna get induced. Oh, this camera is awful.
Yeah, it's better than no camera, I suppose.
What time is it?
10:34.
I just got one more medicine because I was just having the worst pain of my life. Tell them the whole story.
We got in at 9 last night. They got us checked into this room by 11 in, what is this, labor delivery room 5. They started doing all the procedures and stuff.
This is still the thing that hurt the most. The IV.
Yeah, but then after that, got a nap for what, like 3 hours? 11 to like 2:30 a.m. They woke us up to do some more stuff, and
They put a pill in
yeah,
to get me dilated, and then like 3 hours later
a balloon.
we got the balloon, but I couldn't do it without anesthesia, so I got an epidural.
So that was
And
our,
a really wise man did the epidural.
I think he was Russian.
He was like, what do you think, like 70?
65, 70, something like that.
Which I love, because that means he knows what he's doing.
And
The
then we went,
epidural didn't hurt, honestly. It was more like I didn't want to move because like I know it's dangerous. But that got me feeling really good.
and then we slept for a few more hours. And it,
I mean, I barely slept, but yeah.
well, I slept pretty
And
good.
then they checked me at 8, and I was 5 centimeters.
And now it's 10:30 or at like 9:30. You were 9 centimeters, so it's going quick now. They broke your water at 8:30 or so.
Yeah, so they did the balloon Pitocin, then they broke my water. And in how many hours? I went from 5 to 9,
Like 2, quick.
which they said it was gonna be 4. But I was feeling so much pressure and pain.
Honestly, you're probably at 10 right now.
Yeah. So now, I mean, at some point we were taking selfies and watching a show. We were feeling good, but then all of a sudden, boom, it hit us. Well, me.
Yeah.
But must have this fan. Feels good.
And me.
Eat this, husband. We're just waiting. Oh, it's coming. Alrighty.
Deep breath.
Welcome back to my channel. I just put the baby down and I'm watching him in the iPad, but I feel like I can still, like I can't do anything because I'm watching the iPad. I've been meaning to record this video for like a month now. By the way, this is my our new apartment. We moved to Brooklyn. I was so worried about not having anything to do and like being bored, and like I've never been so busy in my life. But hey guys, I just had a baby. He was 1 month yesterday, so he's been in this world for 1 month. We moved to this new apartment in September when I was about to give birth. 20 days before I gave birth, we moved, and it was the best decision ever. We're in a really nice neighborhood, really clean, easy to walk with the stroller, very family oriented, so we're super happy and excited about that. I haven't gone to the city since I gave birth. Actually, I went once to get his passport, but we do leave the house every day. We go on really nice walks, me, the baby and the dog in the stroller, and that has been really nice. Okay, so my birth story. So the day after my due date, I got induced, so I went to a hospital and they told me like the steps that we were gonna do for the induction. So the first step was putting like a little like pill down there for it to start dilating. So they tell you to come at 9 p.m. so that you have like the night to get through that process. And then we got situated in our room and we just like waited, and then they said that they were gonna put the balloon inside, which a friend from work had told me if they're gonna do the balloon you should get epidural first because it really hurts. So I asked them, I was like, should I get the epidural first? And they were like, you can get the epidural at any time, just ask for it, let's try it. Like the balloon essentially is like a balloon that they inflate inside of you to like emulate the baby's head, and then your cervix start dilating. So they're like, let's try it and we can stop at any time and you can get the epidural. So I'm like, okay, let's start. And obviously the pain was way too much. It just felt like a horrible cramp, and I was like, no, I'm gonna get the epidural. Obviously I was scared about the epidural because you just hear so much about it, and like I feel like you're just envisioning this huge needle going in your spine, which by the way I never looked at the needle, so I couldn't tell you what it looks like. But the anesthesiologist came by and he was this older man. He just looked like he knew what he was doing, so I was excited, not excited, but like it gave me peace of mind that was someone with experience. So essentially he told me to bend over and the nurse was right here like hold. They told Connor to go to the corner. He was telling me everything that he was doing. So here there's some alcohol, I'm putting a tape on you and you're gonna breathe in and don't breathe out, just hold it and don't move. And I'm like, oh my god. And it was fine, like honestly it didn't hurt. I can't even remember. I think what hurt the most was the IV that they put in my arm. They said that that's very common and that everyone says the same thing. So yeah, they put the epidural and then they did the balloon. I didn't feel anything, so that was amazing. And they said, okay, you're gonna stay with this balloon inside of you for some hours and we're gonna check you. At that point, let's say it was like 2 a.m. They said they were gonna check me around, I don't know, 6 a.m. So they took the balloon out and they put Pitocin, which is like this station in your vein that helps you dilate as well. And then they said, we think you're gonna give birth around 6 p.m. because that's how long it takes for you to get to 10 centimeters. And I'm like, okay. And then around 9 a.m. I start feeling this horrible pain. So we called the nurse and I need more anesthesia. Like, I'm dying right now. I was crying of pain. It was just like horrible cramps. I mean, it was contractions, but that's like how I would describe it, like horrible pains, horrible cramps. And then she's like, okay, let me check you. And she's like, the baby head is here, like you're 10 centimeters. Let me call your OB. We're having a baby. And I'm like, oh my, we look at each other and we're like so excited. But I was like, yeah, definitely I need more medicine. So they called the anesthesiologist and he came and put more medicine. He's like, you're gonna start feeling a lot of pressure in your butt, because that's how you describe it. Like, it's not like in the front, it's in the back. Weird, but that's how it is. And they called my doctor and they called my parents. So anyway, they arrived and my OB arrived and it was time to push. So I pushed for around 40 minutes and it was crazy. And definitely towards the end I was getting a little desperate. I'm like, where is this baby? And they're like, the head is right there, Connor, come look. And he looked and he's like, he's right there. And then he cried and I was like, okay, that's what I needed. Now I need to push harder. And I pushed as hard as I could and he came out and it was so surreal. And then they put him in my chest and he was crying, and as soon as they put him here he stopped crying and just like, feeling his little head and his little body so warm and his little hands. It was just so beautiful. So that was incredible, and I couldn't tell you what happened. Like after that, I was just like so happy, not thinking about anything else. So that's the birth story. We were in the hospital for 2 nights. Definitely recommend asking all the questions that you can. I feel like we're just sent to our room and like nurses will come to check on me and check on him, but if you don't ask the questions, no one really tells you anything. I feel like you just get sent home with a baby. Like we have never been around babies in our life. Like we've never changed a diaper, like something so simple like that. I feel like you should ask everything that you have, because then you get home and you don't know anything, right? So at breastfeeding situation, I obviously put him in my chest and I expressed colostrum by hand, and we gave it to him with a syringe, just because he wasn't getting it from me. Like that's very like normal at the beginning. He was really hungry and they were like, we have formula here if you want it, but then like continue to put him in your chest so that you continue to produce. And I did that. I would pump around 4 ounces. It was never like crazy amounts, and I feel like it was never enough for the baby. Like he will eat and then still cry after and give us the cues that he was hungry. So we ended up giving him formula anyway. And to this day I'm pumping still, but I just feel like it's not enough to where like I can feed him just purely by breastfeeding and pumping. Purely breastfeeding is not an option for me. Like I think it's really important for Connor to be involved, and also credible the women that just do it by yourself, like all the shifts, meaning like 1 a.m., 3 a.m., 6 a.m., like every single feed of the day and night by yourself. Like that's crazy. We alternate. Right now I do the midnight and the 3 a.m. just because Connor works, but he helps with the 5 a.m. and then I take it from there during the day. But even just with pumping, I feel like it's also not enough. So I'm like pumping every 2 hours. I'm like drinking this and drinking that, and they tell me that this works to produce more. Just to give him a couple of ounces, I don't know if it's worth it. I mean, I'm still doing it, but questioning. I did have a lactation consultant to help with understanding how it works, and I think that was important, because like obviously I didn't even know anything about it. But ultimately I end up feeling a little judged by her too. She's like, yeah, the more you give it to him, the more you're gonna produce. We're like sure, but I don't know, it wasn't what I was expecting in terms of producing as much as I needed to. Postpartum recovery has been on the easier side because I had a natural birth and I didn't tear or anything, so I feel like normal. Energy wise I feel good. I mean, I feel like hormonal changes, just like sometimes I get really hot and hot flashes, but other than that it's been fine. And you know, I'm in love with my baby and I'm happy, and I haven't had baby blues, so I'm really grateful for that. I've been like taking walks. At the beginning obviously it was hard to take walks, but I've been taking them more regularly this week, and that has really helped me. I think it's been, you know, just a beautiful journey, and we love him so much and we're so in love. So I'll definitely insert some clips of him here.